What's going on, folks? RazorMP here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a 5-way comparison of striker-fired pistols, each with factory integrated porting to help manage recoil. On the table, we've got the CZ P-10C Ported, the Smith & Wesson M&P M2 compact carry comp, the Springfield Armory Echelon 4.5F compensated, the Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro Comp OSP, and of course the Canik Mete MC9 Prime. Now, before anyone jumps in the comments, yeah, I know the Hellcat Pro and the Canik Prime are a bit smaller and lighter than the others. They fall into that compact EDC class, while the CZ, the M&P, and the Echelon are more duty size. But I've had a ton of requests to throw them into the same comparison. And to be honest, it's worth seeing how these stack up across categories. We'll factor in those size and use case differences along the way, so don't worry about it. Now, quick reminder, this video is for educational review purposes only. All testing was done in a safe and controlled environment in full compliance with YouTube's ridiculously stupid firearm content policy. No links to gun sales or parts here. Big thanks to Scottsdale Tactical for supporting the channel, and shout out, of course, to Velocitas for the 9mm solid copper ammo. If you want to see my full parts list, you can go out to my webpage at www.razormp.com. Let's also clear something up. While some of these pistols are marked as compensated, what they really feature are ported barrels. Porting vents gas upward through the cutouts in the barrel and the slide to help reduce muzzle rise. It's built in and permanent. A true compensator, on the other hand, is a threaded muzzle device that uses an expansion chamber or baffles to redirect gas more aggressively, but it adds length and changes the balance a little bit. That's why guns like the Walther PDP Pro Comp and the Shadow Systems XR920P aren't in this particular comparison. They're in a different category altogether, but if you want to see that compared as well, let me know down in the comments. Now, let's kick it off with the CZ P-10C Ported. It weighs in at 31.6 ounces and features a cold hammer forged barrel with top ports. It manages recoil well and has excellent grip texturing, aggressive enough without being painful, but it has the heaviest trigger in the lineup, breaking between about a 5.5 and a 6 pound. It also ships with photoluminescent sights instead of tritium, meaning you've got to charge them with light to get them to glow in low light. It's not ideal. It does allow for co-witnessing depending on your optic height, but it's not as clean or intuitive as some of the others in this lineup. You also don't get an optic plate included, and the dust cover only has a single slot rail. The mag release is reversible though, but no longer fully ambidextrous like the old CZ models. The upside? It's the most affordable gun in this lineup at about 500 Scooby Snacks. I tell you what the price is and say the words, but I keep getting demonetized when I talk about specific pricing. So, Scooby Snacks it is. Next up, the Smith & Wesson M&P M2.0 carry comp. It weighs in at 29.5 ounces. This is not the metal version. And I added a grip sleeve and extended mag to give it a full-size feel, which honestly improved the handling dramatically. Now, the built-in power port keeps the muzzle flat, and the Performance Center flat face trigger is one of the best factory triggers I've tested. It breaks clean at 4.5 pounds and has a short, crisp reset. Sights are tritium, and it co-witnesses well with most microdots. The clear sight cut also helps reduce gas buildup on your optic. You get ambi slide stops and a reversible mag release as well. Out of the box, it's very capable and carries the highest cost of Scooby Snacks at $749. Then we've got the Springfield Armory Echelon 4.5 compensated, the heaviest of the group at 32 ounces. It's a full size and it's duty built, but it's well balanced and doesn't feel oversized. The 4.5-inch ported barrel is paired with Springfield's variable interface system, letting you mount optics directly to the slide. No plates are needed. I've got the HoloSun 507 comp on mine, taking full advantage of that integration system for their optics, and it helps with fast target tracking. The Echelon also offers the best co-witness potential in the group alongside the Canik Prime. Both the front and rear sights are easy to pick up, even with a dot mounted. The trigger breaks at about 4 pounds flat. It's very smooth, but I like a slightly crisper wall. It's a little bit mushy. The standout here is the control layout. Fully ambidextrous, including the mag release, slide stop. Everything on this pistol feels designed for performance. All that at a price of about 618 Scooby Snacks. Then there's the Hellcat Pro Comp. This is the OSP and it weighs in at about 24 ounces. It's the lightest pistol in the test. The integral comp is machined into the barrel and the slide, and for its size, it shoots flatter than expected. Grip texture is strong, especially with the 17 round mag, which I prefer over the 15 round flush fit. The trigger breaks at around 5 to 5.5 pounds. It's not bad, but it doesn't stand out either. You get tritium sight, a front sight, and co-witnessing is possible with certain optics. But this pistol is strictly a right-hand pistol only, no ambi controls at all. It comes in about 584 Scooby Snacks. Lastly, we have the Canik Mete MC9 Prime. It weighs in just at 23.38 ounces, but don't let that fool you. It's a performer. You get aggressive full coverage grip texturing, a flared mag weld, deep front slide serrations, and a compensated barrel. Now the flat face trigger is a variant of the TTI combat design, breaking at a crisp 4.5 pounds with a clean 90-degree wall. The slide is RMSC footprint ready for a direct optic mounting, and you can co-witness with the included tritium sights. I mounted a Holosun 507K on mine and didn't need to mess with the plate at all. Ergonomically, it felt very similar to the M&P, but with the grip angle and the stippling, it just gave me some better control. It also ships with a hard case, G-code inside the waistband, outside the waistband, ambi holster, optional magwell, and 2 magazines. Now, all that for 599 Scooby Snacks. It's a strong contender for best value in the group. Let's head to the range though and see how they perform under live fire conditions. Now, just a heads up, these rankings are totally subjective and based on my experience with each pistol. Things like how familiar I am with the platform, how often I've shot it, and even just how I was feeling that day all play a role in how I shoot. So on any given day, a few of these could easily trade spots. That said, here's how I rank them from bottom to top. At number 5, surprisingly for me, the Canik Mete MC9 Prime. It brings a lot to the table for 599 Scooby snacks. Strong texturing, great grip angle, a clean 4.5 pound trigger pull, direct optics mount with co-witness capability, and the tritium sights. But for whatever reason, it just didn't perform the way I actually expected it to this time around. Could have been the day, could have been me, but it landed last in this group. Now, number 4, the CZ P-10C Ported. It's the most budget friendly of the bunch at about 500 Scooby snacks, and it's got that rock solid CZ built, but the heavier 5.5 to 6 pound trigger, no optic plate included, and the glow in the dark sights versus a tritium knocked it a bit back for me. It's a solid gun, it's just overshadowed here in performance and features. In the number 3 spot is the Hellcat Pro Comp. This one impressed me more than I thought it would. At 584 Scooby snacks, it's priced right for everyday carry. The compensator works well, and while the trigger's average and it lacks ambi controls, it handled better than I expected and definitely earned its place here. Number 2 actually goes to the Springfield Armory Echelon Comp. For 618 Scooby snacks, it's feature-packed ambi controls, deep slide serrations, a direct mount optic system, and excellent co-witnessing. The trigger's a smooth 4 pounds, but just doesn't break as cleanly as I'd like. Still, it checks almost all the other boxes as a great do-it-all platform. And finally, number 1 for me was the Smith & Wesson M&P carry comp. It's the most expensive at 749 Scooby snacks, but that performance centered trigger is crisp at 4.5 pounds, the grip texture is fantastic, and the recoil control is top tier. I did throw on a mag and a grip sleeve to dial in the fit, but once I did, it felt like home. Out of all of them, this was the one I shot the best, and I just felt the most confident with behind the trigger. But again, your mileage may vary. This was just my take on my range day with my hands. Let me know how you'd rank them down in the comments, or if you've run any of these yourself. And if you want to see these pistols go up against true compensated guns like a PDP Pro Comp or the Shadow Systems XR920P, say the word and I'll make it happen. Thanks again to Scottsdale Tactical, Velocitas Ammo, and all of you who support the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming up next. And as always, I'll see you on the high ground or in the next video. RazorMP out.